All right. I
All
think we
right,
could
we're
probably
ready
get
to.
going.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Farm Breakout Session. My name is Charlie Mossbrook. I am the chair of our Virtual Connections Committee, and I am also the regular host of our peer sessions that we do every first and third Thursdays. The peer sessions are a lot like what you're in right now, except it's probably a lot more give and take. Uh, I don't sit here and talk the whole time. I invite Max Bloomquist to talk, and we go from there.
You twist my arm, you mean?
Yes, indeed. So we have these twice a month, the first and third Thursdays of each month, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central. And if you're in any other part of the world, you can do the math. And it's really, since the pandemic began, to me, it's one of the great opportunities to sit down with a bunch of friends in the middle of the afternoon and talk about what we love the most, which, I mean, outside of our families, is folk music. So that goes on. We also have a folk DJ peer session, and that goes on once a month. I believe we are moving it to the fourth Wednesday of each month, and that's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. And then on the fourth Thursday of the month, we have something called Virtual Performance Lane, and I'm going to turn this over to Schmitty, and he's going to explain exactly what that is. Where's Schmitty? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Are you spotlighting? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking a few minutes to listen to us talk about farm, and then we'll take your questions in a little bit. But Virtual Performance Lane, in a few minutes, Alan Stanley, our most awesome conference director, will talk about Performance Lane, which has been a feature of farm conferences for, I don't know, 25 years or so now. What we do is basically an online open mic on the fourth Thursday of every month, January through June. So the last one for 2024 will be coming up. And we stop in June, not because we're lazy, but by the end of June, we're ready to start working heavy on the conference. And we focus more on prepping for the conference than the Virtual Performance Lane. Sign up occurs at noon 2 weeks before the gig. So that's Thursday, the second Thursday of the month, which will be next week for June. To get the sign up link, you have to get the newsletters. So you sign up for the farm newsletters on the contact page on the farm website. You get the newsletter on Thursday, go. Sign up. The sign up happens quickly. It's full within about a half hour typically. So if you don't have time right at noon on that second Thursday to sign up, generally we keep a couple spots open and often raffle them off to whoever wants them, if they can be on the Zoom a little early on the night of the gig. It's a lot of fun. We get people from all over the country. We always have a guest host. This month will be Mike Ward and his wife Angie, Mike a musician, Angie on the board of Trinity House Theater. So oftentimes the host is a talent buyer. So you come play and who knows, you might get a gig. But either way, we have a good time. We listen to 2 hours of music, 10-minute sets, and roll on from there. That's all I got to say about that. We can take questions in a little bit. Charlie, do you want to talk about Tech Tuesdays at all?
Oh, good point. Yeah, we actually began our virtual connections programming with our Tech Tuesday talks, and the purpose of that was, at that time, I remember very clearly doing a virtual concert on my own, and Joan Hellman texting me and saying, you should put the light on your face and not behind you. I realized very quickly I had no idea what I was doing, and I laid down to bed with my wife, and I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be arranging workshops. She said, do them online. I called Annie Capps, and away we went, and we figured out how to better light ourselves and get better sound. And those have grown into a fairly regular series where we talk about all kinds of different components of our industry and our community, and how to navigate those things. And those are the tech talks. They are not consistently every single month, but we generally have them. I know we have one coming up on the 18th of June, and there you're going to learn all about how to navigate your conference. And is that a good segue to pass to Alan, do you think? or do you want it back?
Sure. Well, I'll just say, in case any of you out there don't know it, we are Folk Alliance Region Midwest. We define the Midwest. There's a list of states you can find on our website, but it's really the Midwest of the United States and the prairie provinces of Canada. Our conference is typically the third, sometimes the fourth weekend in October. Currently in Lisle, Illinois, which is Chicagoland, and we tend to do 3 years in a spot, then move and do 3 years and move and do 3 years, because the Midwest is a big place, and we want to bring our conference to all parts of our region. We've been in Iowa City, we've been in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we've been in St. Louis and Chicago, and we will be someplace not Chicagoland for 2020. We're not telling you yet where that is. Maybe because we don't know, but maybe I'm just not telling you. You can decide how that goes. The conference is the big thing. Virtual connections is also a big thing we do, and we'll do whatever else we can to support the community year round. Conference is pretty reasonably priced. The hotel rooms are pretty reasonable. Hey, gosh, probably $100 a night, I think. We have meals. We have a good time. The best person to tell you about it is the person who makes it all happen at that conference, and her name is Ellen Stanley. Take it away, Ellen.
Thanks, Smitty. Of course, the timing just came with a plane coming right over my head, so I apologize if there's any background noise. I'm right in the flight path in Minneapolis, which is where I'm based. So, Kat, thank you for the shout out for Minneapolis. Yes, I'm conference director for Folk Alliance Region Midwest. As Smitty said, the conference is October 24th through the 27th this year in Lisle, Illinois, which is just outside Chicago. This will be our final year there, as he mentioned, and it's a great location. And Smitty's not joking, like one of the best deals on hotel ever. So it's a great location, and it's shaping up to be a great conference. One of the things that makes Farm particularly unique, and this is coming from someone who has spent a lot of time at the international conference and at the other regional conferences, and I'm also a musician, so I know how important performance opportunities are for people. Farm has some of the most robust performance opportunities out of all the regionals. In addition to the official showcases, we have private showcases that go on from 10:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We also have an open stage that anyone can sign up for. So even if you register last minute or whatever, or a friend comes last minute in your car, you can still perform there. We also have the performance lane, the in-person performance lane. So we were talking about the virtual performance lane, which happens every month online, and will be happening today from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. as part of the Folk Plus conference. But that was really inspired from the in-person version, which we do at the conference, which is really unique in that artists, and it's just an order of registration. Basically, these are showcase. There's about 3 or 4 rooms. Correct me if I'm wrong, Smitty. I can't remember. 2 or 3 rooms. Conference rooms. Oh, there. I saw Patty's hand. 3 rooms. Where basically in the afternoon on Friday and Saturday, there are 10-minute quick showcases, no amplification. You just go on, do your 10 minutes, and then the next person comes on, but nothing else is happening during that time. No workshops or anything. So people are basically split between these 3 rooms, and they're all pretty full rooms. So you're playing for a robust crowd, which is really exciting. So that's another thing that we have, in addition to, of course, the late night jams and all that good stuff. And one of the things that we're going to be doing this year, because there was a big call for it, is to have more old time and trad content. And so we have a lot of that coming this year as well. There's going to be an old time jam room, and there's going to be a contra dance this year. And we're going to have a really cool panel on the future of old time, about gender-free calling and all kinds of different stuff. So we have some really great content coming your way. Susan Werner is going to be our keynote speaker, which we're very excited about. And anyone who knows her knows she has lots of wisdom to offer, and also is always a hilarious speaker, so it will be a good time. So those are a few of the highlights that are coming to mind right now. Registration is open. Farmfolk.org is how you get there. And I don't know if there's anything else I need to say right now, except to take your questions, unless Smitty or Charlie or Alexa, did I miss anything?
I think you hit the highlights. I've been throwing a few fun facts into the chat. People can read those. Yeah, we have a good time.
Oh, I should also mention there is also a for first time DJs or venues or music presenters, we have a discount available. So if you have never attended Farm and you are a DJ or a talent buyer or a festival organizer or anything like that, or you present music in any form, you book musicians to play, then get in touch with me and we'll hook you up with that discount, 50% discount. So that's a pretty good bargain.
We also have discounts for bands beyond the second member. So if you got a 5-piece or something, it's a lot more affordable.
And also, again, if you're also looking, I know a lot of us are counting pennies these days. The other thing is you can also volunteer at the conference. Is another way of getting a discount, and also a great way to meet people, especially for some of us who are maybe a little more on the introverted side. It's a great way. A lot of us like tasks and jobs as a way of meeting people, and that is a great way to do that. So you can find all of that available on our website as well. And again, if you sign up for the Farm email list, which is what I really highly encourage you all to do, because you'll find out about the virtual connection stuff. You'll find out all the conference updates and deadlines and all that good stuff. So I am volunteering. So definitely sign up for the email list. Yeah. So I'll open it up for
scholarships.
What was that?
Did you mention scholarships?
I did not, but I see that in the chat. And yes, there will be some scholarships. We'll be announcing that soon. So and sharing an application soon. But certainly, if you're interested in that, you can also just email and we'll make sure that you know about it when we have not put the application out yet. So, but we will have at least a couple scholarships available this year.
And it's an application, but it's really very simple.
Simple form. Yeah. We're trying to make it easy.
History and 28 pages and 10 references or anything like that. It's just like, you want a scholarship? Why? Okay, let's talk.
That's right. Oh, and I should say the other performance opportunity that I didn't mention is the Folk DJ Showcase as well. And I see Sue Kessel joined, one of who organizes that. But that happens on the Thursday night, and that is where different DJs pick artists who do not have an official showcase and have not been presented before as part of that. So it's a way of presenting emerging talent that DJs are excited about. So that's another great opportunity. And again, it's on the main stage with sound and all the good stuff. So that's another.
If you're a musician coming to Farm, unless you are totally unwilling to do anything on your own behalf, you're going to get some opportunities. It's easy. And when we do open mics, we hold those spots for anybody that for whatever reason signed up late to the conference, whatever, doesn't already have some gigs. We limit private showcases to we limit the number of times an artist can appear in the private showcases so that we spread the fun around and everybody can get in there.
Yeah, and it means that more people and now we do all of our private showcases or private or late night showcases, maybe a better way of putting it, happen in conference rooms so that there's actually fewer private showcases, but more bodies in the rooms and more space for more people to see you. So that's another great thing. And we have a first timer showcase too. So if you're new to Farm, you will get a chance to perform if you want.
It's a good point. If it's your first time at Farm, you just write to info@farmfolk.org and you're going to get a spot in the first timers private showcase room. And the thing I like about the conference rooms is, you know, these days, since 2020, whatever year that all happened, hotel rooms, a jammed hotel room is a little bit, to me personally, The conference rooms, you've got more elbow room and airflow, and they work quite well.
So, and I think someone had a question. Let me see this chat here about
Somebody asked if the first timer showcase keeps you from applying for an official the following year. No, not at all.
No.
The only thing that keeps you from applying for an official showcase is if you had one in the 2 previous years.
Right. That is right. Cool. Well, keep the questions coming, or you can raise your hand and we'll
I got to say that the coffee has been very good at Farm the past few years.
Oh, coffee. We have free. Did we mention it's free? Free coffee. Generally, the strategy with getting free coffee is get to the coffee station before Max Bloomquist. But even when Max comes, there's usually still a little bit left. No, I mean, not every minute of the conference, but almost every minute of the conference, there's free coffee. It's free coffee all day long. And
Our sponsor. Thanks to our generous sponsor.
Exactly.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, we have a lot of people in the audience here that have been to Farm several times. If any of you want to unmute and jump in and tell us your favorite part of Farm or the part you hate, no, don't say that. And anything you want to share with the rest of the audience about Farm and your experiences.
And before we do that, though, we do have 2 questions that came in, so I want to get to those. Kat raised her hand, so Kat, if you want to ask your question.
Well, it kind of goes toward what actually Smitty was talking about, just wanting to share my experiences a little bit. But also, I am a person who is I'm going to be in Minneapolis living, and I want to participate more with Farm's inner workings, how to become more involved in the actual process of creating this conference together. I've been kind of discussing throughout this whole couple days how the connectivity of this seems just the most valuable thing that I have come in contact with my music and life, just as supporting one another. And so I really would like to, and I would bring up the pandemic because a lot of what we talk about was actually built during the pandemic and brought here. I think that's why we're here today, almost virtually. So I would like to take steps towards physically being there and helping. What are you needing for the conference as you get into your big planning sessions? What are you looking at for oh, that's going to be challenging. We need people for that. What do you see?
That's a great question. You want to take it, Ellen, or you want me to?
Sure. No, I'm happy to take it. Thank you, Kat. That's a great question. And there's lots of ways to become involved. Obviously, we were talking about volunteering at the conference, which is more logistical, and we need bodies to help, person tables and registration, that stuff. So that we always need help on. But yes, we need help year round for all these things we do. So, obviously every year there's sometimes new board members we add. So if you want to get involved in that sort of high level, you can always talk. Smitty is our current board president. Alexa, who's also on here, is the vice president. So you can always talk to any current board members about that piece. But on a more entry level thing, if you're I just want to be more involved in the planning and some of the stuff leading up towards the conference, anyone is welcome to email me. My email, I'll put it in the chat, is conference@farmfolk.org. And we do actually, at this stage in the game, we have weekly planning meetings for the kind of, and it's not too many people right now, because right now we're kind of going through basic stuff okay, the official showcase deadlines come in, how many have we had apply, and where are we on that? And, so we at different stages leading up to the conference, we're working on different pieces. But we have that, but then there's always kind of various committees that are involved both with the farm organizational stuff that happens year round, as well as conference specific stuff. So if you're interested in virtual connections, you can get involved with that committee if you wanted to get involved with that piece, like what Charlie was talking about with the peer gatherings and all of that stuff, the virtual performance lane. If you're more interested in planning workshops or things like that for the conference. We also, I should mention, and I'll put this link in the chat, or maybe unless Smitty has it handy. We also solicit, and we do this also through our email, and conference updates, and it will be in next week's for sure, is we solicit workshop ideas from everybody. So like, if you want to lead a workshop, or if there's just a topic you want covered, that's how we get most of the ideas for our workshops is from you. So we would love content on that. When we get closer, I'll need a lot more help with proofing things. So if you're like, have that kind of brain and want to do things like that, we always need that. So it kind of depends on what your interest and, you know, time commitment is, but there's always stuff we need help with. So I think
if most any thing happening at the conference, it requires some work up front. So the first timer room, right? People are emailing, and we'll keep a list, and then somebody's got to put them into time slots, and we do it in the round. So pick interesting sets of 3 people at a time to perform. If that's your thing, Kat, you know, be happy to have you help with that. Organizing the communicating with the hosts, the workshops, you know, it's a lot of work once you, never mind figuring out what the workshop should be, but then communicating with the workshop panelists and all that, making sure they know what to do, when to, you know, where to be and all that. Coordinating the volunteers. That's a lot of work it's a big jigsaw puzzle with, we got volunteers and we got where they need to be and how do they, you know, how does all that happen? Can always, anything like that happens before the conference. And we would love help with any of that, and call Ellen or me or write to info@farmfolk.org, whatever, and tell us the kind of things you dig doing, and we'll have you help with that.
Do you mind if I toss something in here?
What?
Sure. Can I just say one thing first? Is that Smitty did put that Google Docs link that Smitty put in the chat. That is the workshop proposal form. So if I know it wasn't labeled, so I just want to make sure you all know that's what that is. And so if you're interested, please submit ideas for workshops. Okay, go ahead, Charlie. Okay,
I was just going to say, if anybody's ever interested in board work, the board itself nominates people. I would encourage people to say, hey, this is something I might be interested in, because that helps that committee to really jump forward. And then if you're not nominated, you can self-nominate. And so always something to consider if you really want to dig in deep and really be a part of the inner workings.
We typically, we have 9 board members, 3 are up for election each year. They usually don't all run again, whether they're term limited or just, you know, finished with their service. So there's always a need for new people on the board. Okay. Is that Kat, did that answer your question? Any follow-ups on volunteering? Okay. There's always things to do.
I have one quick one. Volunteering, lots of times, you know, that helps pay for the conference attendance. Is that still something that you do at Farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
If you wish to be reimbursed for your volunteer time during the conference, we'll give you $60 credit for 4 hours and $120 credit for 8 hours. And probably about half the people who volunteer at the conference take that discount, and the other half donate their hours. And then there's crazy people like Ellen and us on the board that do a lot of work and don't get reimbursed at all, but we love it. All right. Adrielle asked a question. How does registering a band work? She didn't see it on the form, and that's because it's not on there. It's not obvious. But what you do is you write to Ellen, conference@farmfolk.org. And if you ever forget that, you just write to info@, and there's a comp code that will give you that you can use on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 10th band members.
And one thing that is different on this year's application versus last year is if you've come before, is that it's just one person per registration form this year. You can't like have 5 people in the same form. So after you register yourself or whatever, you know, like if you're having a band, even if you're applying for or registering everyone, you're gonna have to do it separate times. Mainly there's too many import issues from the registration system. So there's going to be one form per person. But again, we can get you the discounts needed. So any questions about discounts, volunteering, any of that stuff, feel free to email me or Smitty. Does anyone else have questions or comments?
I'm looking to see who's been to farm. Jennifer Rowe came to farm last year.
That's right.
I did. I was there. It was lovely.
All right, there's your endorsement.
And then,
That's all you gotta say. It was lovely.
Okay.
and,
You know,
Diane, you raised your hand.
Hi, I was wondering, pardon me, I'm eating my lunch. Wondering, in honor of, not in honor of, reflecting upon Annie Cap's latest album, where she had like 26 different musicians on her album, and they were all women. I was wondering, could there be a space made for women who want to connect musically playing with other women?
Yeah. There's
Sure.
no reason we can't do that. We could even do we do sometimes some affinity groups or breakout groups, but we could make one that's specifically about, that's women, that's maybe more about actually performing together or working, or maybe not just performing. It could be like graphic artists or video people or audio engineers or anything like that. We could definitely do something like that.
A jam, I would like a jam space for women to play together. So
that's
grand-
easy enough to do, and maybe Diane, we can have you organize it, since you had such a great idea.
well, I better register, huh?
Yeah, that would be a start.
But no, that's a great idea. And I'm putting it on the list right now, Diane. So thank you.
Yeah. What else is...
Max, are you raising your hand or are you just waving? Okay, you're raising.
Hi, this is a question I think for Smitty, and it's got nothing to do with anything that we've been talking about. But I got an email from Folk Alliance Region Midwest. Subject line: certification annual review announcement.
Yeah.
I've never heard of such a thing. What do I do?
Damn.
You ignore it because it's one of, many spam emails that we all get each day.
I
Thank you.
forwarded mine to Schmitty.
Good idea.
Yeah,
Good
Charlie
idea.
said certify this mother trucker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
that's the popular one today, and
Wait, are you saying that you got a spam that looked like it was from farm?
Yes.
yeah, if you looked at the return address,
It's
we all
not
need
us,
to,
yeah.
we all need to do this when we get
Right.
an email that we think is kind of funny, or even if it's not, double check the actual address it came from, not the name. And I'm going to check real quick and see where the one Charlie sent me actually came from.
Yeah, I've been
I
sending
got it.
Schmitty Apple gift cards for years, and he doesn't seem to ever get them.
Yeah.
I got it
If you
too,
look at
like-
the one Charlie got, the address it actually came from is support@ektbinbox.org. It said Folk Alliance Region Midwest, but that's not the address it came from.
That's where mine came from too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even I checked that website, Max, just because I was curious. It doesn't exist.
That's
Or at
what I
least
thought.
you can't get into it.
Yeah.
But
Like Charlie said, I'd get an email that said, hello, president of farmfolk.org. This is the treasurer. I need a very important matter to discuss,
Right.
to
Well-
pay this bill. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
Because I love farm so much and I trust farm so much, I actually clicked on the link, and there's a place there to put in your email address and put in your password. Password? Hell no.
Yeah, we will never ask for your password ever.
Does that mean though that something's
Don't click
I
on
don't
those
even have
links. That's how they can put malware on your computer. That's how when you see
Yeah.
people talk about how their Facebooks have been hacked, things like that, you clicked on a link and that's how they can get your information.
Don't click on links like that.
Does that mean our email list has been hacked?
No, it means they went
No.
to the web. It means they went to the website.
And copied our
They
name,
looked up
as
some,
far as we can tell.
public information.
Yep.
But I will.
Go ahead. It happens to us every year too. Every year.
Yeah.
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 We were getting
And-
ones that were offering to sell our list of, our person list to you if you wanted it. You just needed to let them know if you wanted it. And people were emailing me. I mean, this went on for a while and then it quit, you know, but everybody was asking me is like, are you selling our land? Like, no, just delete it. You know, but yeah, we're all targets, I think.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes, Nick.
Hi, everybody. I have never been to a farm in the Midwest, but I am in Michigan right now, or what some people call Michigan, on past, present, and future Anishinaabe land here in Lansing, which you probably know about from Elderly Instruments, among many other things.
I'm in East Lansing now.
All right, Smitty. Cool. Well, I just wanted to say hello and also just spread a little bit of like something that we've been thinking about with the organization that I founded and continue to run, which is called Earful of Fiddle Music and Dance Camp. It's an instructional, immersive folk week that happens at the end of June every year. This year it's the 23rd through 28th. And this year we actually just got some amazing support that means that we have 2 spots for 2S LGBTQIA+ people that are fully funded, and 3 spots for Black, Indigenous, and people of color that are fully funded. So within your networks, if there are people who want to come and study fiddle, banjo, guitar, uke, mandolin, percussive dance, come spend a week on Jensen Lake in Michigan, let's be in touch. Or you can visit earfuloffiddle.com. I'll put the thing in.
Oh, yeah, Nick, will you put that in the chat?
Because
really
it's
great
brand new news for us. We just got this like kind of angel donor thing, and I really wanted to follow up after the question about creating a space, maybe a women's space or a jam space. It feels really important, as we're organizing the camp, to think about that definition of women being really expansive. I'm thinking especially about the history of the Women's Music Festival and the other things that that happened in the Midwest and the ways that those were trans-exclusionary in some ways. I think it's really important just to think about that. Whenever you're considering making a something-only space, that the definition of that has to be pretty broad. It doesn't mean that it has to be for everybody. I think it is cool to have a space. For example, there's the 2S LGBTQIA+ affinity group for Focal Lines. There's the BIPOC affinity group. It's okay to have that space, but just make sure that that women's only space can be for everyone who thinks of themselves as a woman or who is a woman. And that's something that we're working with for our camp as well. We actually are on the site of a church camp, so we go in and we turn all the crosses around and we put signs over all the bathroom doors to make them gender neutral and have a gender expansive dorm. And anyway, just want to offer that a little bit as something that we're thinking about, and maybe something that Farm is probably also thinking about.
Yes, thank you for that. That's really great. And definitely put the link to that. And another place to share it too, and for all of you to maybe join in. I know someone, I think it was Penelope, had asked in an elevator ride this morning about finding roommates for Farm, and if there's either information sharing about opportunities like Nick was mentioning, or you want to sort of meet other people who are coming to Farm. 2 places you might want to do that, aside from right here in this space, is we have the listserv is a great way to do that. And then we have a Farm Facebook group. So we have the Farm page, which just we share organizational information about the conference and everything. But there's also a Facebook group where you can sort of share information like opportunities or could be anything like, I'm looking for a roommate or anything like that. So a few places to aside from right here on Chorus too during Folk Plus. So this is a great space to do that in.
I think it would be great to have a BIPOC space, similar to the women's space, and maybe a queer space for people who want to gather together and play together within their groups.
Yeah,
definitely.
Any reason we can't have a men's group either?
Right. So I just put the Farm Community Facebook page link in the chat. The listserv, you sign up on the instructions for how to sign up are on the same Farm contact page as the newsletter sign up. It's a little more involved. it doesn't get used much except mainly the few months leading up to the conference, but you know, there's hundreds of people on there and it's a good way to find ride shares or roommates or whatever.
Yeah.
And Nick, I see the Earful of Fiddle Facebook page. Do you guys use that fair amount? Okay, we'll splash that around our social media, and Alexa, they have an Instagram page, just FYI.
Yeah, you'll find that if there's people who are applying, the deadline says the 13th, but we just got this new funding, so ignore those deadlines.
Okay, cool.
You can just apply, and we'd love to have you with us.
All right, sounds weird. Sounds cool. Who else has a question or a comment or tell us about something?
Speaking of deadlines, what's the official showcase deadline?
It's was
already
Monday,
passed.
Monday this past Monday. Yeah.
So, but as we mentioned at the top of the session, there are lots of other performance opportunities because people are limited to only have 3 showcases, including an official. So it means that there is plenty of space for people and plenty of audience for those late night showcases and the open stage and the performance lane. So there are a lot of other opportunities.
You used
But
to have 8 rooms for private.
it's going to be, I think, it's either 9 or 10. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's how many there are.
When do you announce your official showcase artist, Ellen?
July.
July.
Middle of July is our target.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then there's something else I was going to say. Just in terms of registration, again, it's still the next, I think it's the end of August is our next rate increase, but it's very reasonable right now. So I think it's $225 for the whole weekend. So
yeah. Hey, I just thought of something. Kat was asking about volunteer opportunities before the conference. It's too late for this year, but we always need people to review official showcase applications and score the applicants. And we use a lot of people to do that. And we love having a very diverse group. We have DJs, we have fans, we have talent buyers, we have agents. And if that's something you'd be interested in doing, watching videos of folk music and attaching scores to them, get a hold of us and we can talk about next year.
yeah, for sure.
Jennifer?
Jen Rowe raised her hand.
I made this comment in the last breakout rooms, except the last one because I forgot to. But I just wanted to talk about the value of attending a region as opposed to attending the international conference. I'm the executive director of Folk Alliance International, and of course, I want you to come to our conference in Montreal. But I will tell you, there's a huge value of first going to one of our regional conferences before you attend the international conference. One of the main reasons is it's a smaller footprint and it's less intimidating. It's a smaller group of people and it's a lot easier to make connections with folks. And networking in that smaller region is easier, especially if that's the area that you hope to tour in. So I highly suggest folks first show up at a region, make connections, and it will make it easier for even if you choose to go to another region, because there's a lot of overlap with attendees between the regions as well. So if you attend Farm and then you want to attend a region another year, then the next year, that's also a great way to navigate the regional conferences. And it also, I know Farm has community meals as well, which is a great, easy, natural way. I tend to be more on the shy side of things at times and find it overwhelming to be in a room and I don't know where to go or sit. But in those meals, you just sit down where there's an empty seat. And I love that. It makes life a lot easier. So that's my only little thing I wanted to say, but you have a great conference and it's fun to attend.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jennifer.
And I would also say our conference is about 300 people. So yeah, it's you can actually really meet people and see people again and make meaningful connections pretty easily. Kate has her hand up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Harold, and I've been coming to Farm Virtual Connections for a couple of months. And on my very first attendance to one, someone said that they were a house concert promoter. And I said, "What's that?" And I just came back from running an errand because we're hosting Flamey Grant at my house tomorrow.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's our fourth show of the season. We have a fully booked season. And I just want to, given the conversations about having different groups of folks playing, I would like to officially volunteer as a way to give back to all of the wonderful information and connections. And in fact, one of our August artist, Joy Zimmerman, was connected through Patty, who's on the call today. So, this is just one example of the kind of connections that Farm and Folk Alliance can bring. So, if there's interest in that, Tiny Refuge is the name of our concert series. And so I/Tiny Refuge would be happy to be a part of any planning or hosting for a jam session, because our series is dedicated to hosting weirdos, queerdos, and under-recognized artists. So those are the folks we work with. And if you'd like to follow us on the Instagram, we're at tiny.refuge. And so I'd love to stay connected, and I'll reach out to one of the email addresses that's been listed.
And can you put it in the chat too? Can you put those links in the chat? Yeah.
And Ellen, can I, Tisha is our resident expert of this, but Folk Alliance has a membership service for our small organization members for house concerts. And if you are a small organizational member, you can qualify to be a house concert member. That protects you from PROs. And Tisha, if you want to pop or chime in more information about this, but it's really important. Folk Alliance established an agreement with ASCAP and BMI that allows you to be covered by that. There are some stipulations with it and how you share information publicly, because a house concert is a private event. But I would highly encourage you to chat with Tisha to make sure that you have the right membership to be able to do that and not worry about the PROs.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I will say that Kate is already ahead of the game and has already gotten her certificate for this year. So I will still drop this in the chat for everybody who wants to know about it.
Yeah,
of course she is.
An additional plug for that process was really easy. It was one of the things that made it easy for us to decide to even be house concert hosts, is just through our membership and through the PRO agreement. And we put that on all of our invites to people too, that we are, and we link out to the website. We do our best to be reciprocal about that. And we're super excited to go to Montreal next year, because my partner Eris is from Montreal. So it's like coming home.
All right.
Kate, where are you located?
Oh, we're in Bloomington, Illinois, not to be confused with Bloomington, Indiana. We are about equidistant from Peoria and Champaign. We're right in the middle of the state. So yeah, and if any of you are interested in playing with us, that would be cool. We're generally on your way south from Wisconsin or east from Kansas City.
Hey, Kate, I'm going to reach out to you. I run a house concert series in Chicago, so I'll reach out to you.
Nice.
Daisy chain and see how we can help artists as they go to and from our state.
That would be great. I've had someone freak out that I can't host for whatever reason, and so having somebody to connect to is awesome. Thanks, Casey.
Absolutely, and I will double down advocate for becoming certified with the PRO. My house concert series is also certified, and so I always will advocate. It helps a lot to make sure you have all your I's dotted and T's crossed, because you're not an official venue.
And by the way, that's just a special shout out to FAI. I remember years back when I was on the board, this was a big initiative that Folk Alliance spent a lot of time working out that deal, and it's really wonderful for everyone involved. So thanks to FAI for their advocacy on that issue and so many others. So.
And thank you, Janet, for joining us today. It's meaningful. It really is.
Are we supposed to be done at 2:45?
1:45 my time, but yes,
Michigan time, yes.
The hour.
Okay. So does anyone have any last minute things? Otherwise, you know how to find us now. I'm at conference@farmfolk.org, and Smitty is at info@farmfolk.org. And Karen, you get the last question of the day.
Not sure if everybody introduced themselves at the beginning. I had to come in very late because of a plumbing issue. in the house. Karin Stein, and I'm a Latin musician. You wouldn't necessarily know that, but I wanted to quickly express my appreciation. I don't have an opportunity to join Folk Alliance conferences often. I've been to International a couple of times and to Farm a couple of times. I mostly work in the performing arts arena, but I have a very soft spot for Farm. I think it's a wonderful place to feel that you actually belong to a community, even if you're not often there. And I just wanted to give you a shout out. I think it's wonderful and very important to have this kind of organization. And by the way, if you are at the Performance Lane this afternoon, my duo will showcase, play 3 Latin songs at 6:20, but mostly congratulations and thank you. You're a super important organization to keep us in a community.
Wow. Thank you, Karen. And yes, Virtual Performance Lane, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central. Today, Alexa will be hosting. There's a whole lot of great performers from around the globe performing and from right here in the Midwest. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know there's lots of other things to get to at Book Plus, but great to see your faces, and we'll see you hopefully all in October.
Yay. Thanks. Thank you all.
Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.